Hum Aapke Hai Kaun is something which it seemed Gautam Adani was trying to ask the government when he stood in front of the flag and said it's an attack on India. But you did not answer that question, Mrs. Sitaraman.
Jairam Ramesh is saying, Adani aapke hain kaun? That's the opposition's
said
charge.
that?
He actually
Yes, he
said, Hum
has.
aapke hain kaun? I mean, it's ironical of all the films that you could have mentioned,
That
you
you chose
mentioned the
this
one
one.
film which is currently being used by the Congress to attack your government.
That's
Thoda
the
unhone spin
point.
kar diya.
That's exactly the point. I am referring to that film because of the angularities which I am seeing, saying common people liked it because of this. But if that's the DNA there, you know, even a good hum aapke hai kaun can be twisted to.
Was it a conscious decision though to not speak in this matter of Adani versus the stock market? Did you say it's between two private parties, the government should not get involved?
Did I say that?
No, I'm asking you. Is it?
No. My response for the questions which have been asked of me on that issue is that the regulators in India are doing their job and they should be on their toes to do the job. Any disputes on that? And no hum aapke hai kaun here. I'm seriously saying regulators will have to do their job.
Madam Finance Minister, on the Adani Hindenburg saga, I have two queries. One, your response to the charge of this being a case of crony capitalism, and secondly, on the exposure of public financial institutions. The Life Insurance Corporation of India, which is entrusted with the savings of our citizens, said that they've got 1% of their total assets under management with the Adani Group. And this is an investment which domestic mutual funds, even on the equity side, with far more aggressive investment mandates would not make. And therefore, does it appear to you to be odd that the LIC, which is supposed to have a more conservative investment mandate, would make an investment which even equity mutual funds domestically shied away from making? Secondly, State Bank of India said that they've got 0.9% of exposure to the Adani Group. That's about 27,000 crore rupees. Most of the private sector banks chose to stay away from investing in Adani stocks or giving them loans for various projects, and yet SBI did. How do you respond to the questions being asked by the opposition?
Both LIC and SBI have given their statements publicly and in great detail. The heads themselves came out and spoke about it. So there's nothing that I can materially add to that. On the one hand, I'm sure Udayan would ask me, why are you all interfering with, aside from this problem, interfering with LIC or banks and their functioning? Shouldn't they be running professionally? Yes, we are allowing them to run professionally. So I don't think it is right for me even to think that I should have gone in every 2 weeks to say, no, you will choose this company, you will not choose that company. No. They are taking their conscious, board-driven, professional call. And if they come out to speak about it, I'll take that word and quote it back to you.
Ma'am, it's just that there's a saying in English that fools rush in where angels fear to tread.
Oh God, you're talking about our banks who are professional as
Not a single
fools.
not a single private sector bank thinks it's prudent
And
to
by
lend to the group.
implication, you're saying that, like Rahul tried putting words into my mouth, I want to. By implication, therefore, you're saying private banks are not fools and public sector banks are fools. I'm sorry.
The past experience of public sector banks versus private sector banks, ma'am.
Decision making anywhere will have to be assessed for what they are. It's not as if the private is more, public is not. Or public is doing things and private is not. I've been asked questions about public sector going ahead with emergency credit liquidity guarantee scheme and the private sector was not doing it. Was that good or was that bad? Every decision is taken by the respective boards, and I don't think I would, sitting here before the media with you, immediately off the cuff say this is good and that is bad. No, I can't do that.
Siddharth?
Finance Minister, at last year's budget, I was on Anjana's show and we discussed, a point came up, हमारे बैंकों का हाल क्या है? I'm asking you this question, Finance Minister, because over the last few months it has become quite clear that the PSU banking pack, which was sometimes called the sick man of our financial system, is now very robust. We have seen that reflect in stock prices also and also credit. The question to you, ma'am, हमारे बैंकों का, सरकारी बैंकों का खासकर क्या हाल है आज?
आजकल मंत्री, वित्त मंत्री जी बोलते नहीं है, उसके ऊपर पेपर में आ जाता है 3 दिन पहले ही। स्टेट बैंक का प्रॉफिट Q4, Q3, they have announced it already. Public sector bank every year in the last 2 years is showing how NPAs are coming down and their profitability is going up. So I don't need to list it all out, but it is there out there for you all to see. And I'm sure, Siddharth, you've noticed the health of the public sector banks in the last few years have considerably changed, that they don't even ask me for fund for recapitalizing them. Would you have heard of this? Consistently last 3 years, no money has been given for bank for recapitalization. Doesn't that itself indicate what is the health of Indian banks?
Do you think of this as your biggest achievement? What do you think of as your biggest achievement
No, I don't.
in your time? And
I don't spend my time on that.
so that's for the pandits to do. Anjana?
वित्त मंत्री जी, मेरे 2 सवाल हैं आपसे। आरबीआई की तरफ से तो जानकारी मांगी गई बैंकों को लेकर के किसने कितना निवेश किया, लेकिन क्या सेबी वाकई इन्वेस्टिगेट कर रही है अडानी ग्रुप की जो हिंडनबर्ग रिपोर्ट
RBI
के
has
बाद?
asked बैंकों का जानकारी, ये आपको मालूम है?
ये हमें तो सूत्रों के हवाले से हमने खबर चलाई है और ये
सूत्रों
अखबारों में
के हवाले से, I don't want to.
दोनों जानकारी वित्त मंत्री जी आप बता दें, क्या सेबी इन्वेस्टिगेट कर रही है? पहला प्रश्न है।
Haven't they given a statement already? कल या परसों उनके तरफ से elaborately एक statement आया है।
दूसरा हिस्सा इसी प्रश्न का है कि हिंडनबर्ग की एक रिपोर्ट आती है, यूएस जस्टिस डिपार्टमेंट हिंडनबर्ग को वहाँ पे इन्वेस्टिगेट कर रहा है, लेकिन ब्लड बात होता है यहाँ पे। 10 दिन में जो नंबर 2 पर थे अडानी साहब, वो टॉप 20 के बाहर हो जाते हैं। तो डेविल्स एडवोकेट प्ले करते हुए हमारे रेगुलेटर्स क्या कर रहे हैं? जब इतना गुना इजाफा उनके शेयर्स में हो रहा था, क्या कंपनी मैनेजमेंट से अकाउंटेबिलिटी उसकी पूछी गई? क्या बेहतर और पारदर्शी एक तरीका बन सकता है जिसकी वजह से ऐसा हमारा शेयर बाजार में हम परेशानी का सामना ना करें? क्या हमारे रेगुलर्स ज़्यादा प्रोएक्टिव हो सकते थे?
रेगुलेटर्स प्रोएक्टिव होना है कि नहीं होना है, वो भी एक प्रश्न मेरे मन में है, क्योंकि कॉन्फिडेंस मार्केट में बरकरार रहना है तो प्रोएक्टिव रहने में बरकरार रहेंगे या नहीं, वो भी एक प्रश्न है। अगर मान लीजिए, एक इस विषय में नहीं बोल रही हूँ, मान लीजिए एक रेगुलेटर बार बार बोलते हैं, oh my God, there is a risk in this company, that company is being investigated, this company is being, ओपनली बोलते रह रहा है, वो मार्केट के लिए अच्छा है कि नहीं है? मैं प्रश्न पूछ रही हूँ, मेरा कुछ राय नहीं है इसमें। और दूसरा, अगर वो इन्वेस्टिगेट ही कर रहे हैं, खुलेआम कंक्लूजन के पहले ही बोलना अच्छा है, बाद में बोलना अच्छा है, ये सब भी उनके मन में रहता है, वो उनके अप्रोप्रिएट डिसीजन भी लेते हैं। इधर हम बैठ करके आज, क्योंकि एक विषय के ऊपर हम सब इतना इन्वॉल्व है और हमें जानकारी चाहिए, इसीलिए हमको वो थर्स्ट लग रही है कि क्यों नहीं आ रहा जल्दी। हम विषय इधर उठा सकते हैं, जवाब भी दे सकते हैं, मगर इट्स अप टू देम टू सी व्हेन इज द बेस्ट टाइम, क्योंकि वो भी मार्केट से संबंधित है कि आज बोलूं कि कल बोलूं, बोलने में क्या आउटपुट आएगा।